recently when you have seen that, as I said, in amalgamation also, that also has been taken care by RBI. So if you see, the recent amalgamation has happened with Bank of Baroda and Vijay Bank and Dena Bank. So that amalgamation was also decided by RBI. So the working of commercial banks and amalgamation, then reconstruction and liquidation of the banks, everything is decided by RBI. So that is very important. Yes. Coming to the next function, so let me just quickly erase this. Okay, so it is also a clearing house. So let me just explain this once more. So I'll write it down here. Clearing house functions. So as I told you, RBI is very important and it is the clearing house function. So let me write down here. So the RBI, it can come in the exam also, that what is it like, what is the duty, and is it a clearing house for which kind of bank? So let me mention this. So RBI is very important. So please focus. The RBI acts as a clearing house for all member banks. Okay, now this avoids unnecessary transfer of funds between the various banks. Okay, so that is why this is very important, and that is why it is called as the clearing house. Okay, now coming to the next point. So just let me clear this. Okay, let me wrap this. Yes. So yes, it is also, as I said, clearing house. The next function we will discuss is, as I said, measures of credit control in India. Okay, so the management of the money. So let me write down here. The management of the money supply and credit control is a very important function of RBI. Is an important function of RBI. Okay, and as I said, it's a very important thing and you cannot ignore it. So this is the last function of RBI. So apart from this, as I said, that RBI has lots of functions. Okay, but as I told you also, that this is one of the major functions which is, we cannot ignore about RBI. Okay, now coming to the next topic, it's a very important topic. So we will talk about, as I had told you that monetary policy or RBI has certain measures or tools through which it performs its duties. So yes, we will talk about the money supply in India and what are the important monetary policy tools. Okay, so let me wrap this and let us go to the next section of this chapter. Okay, so yes, as I said, let me focus. So today I'll be also talking about, as I said, the topic is monetary policy. Yes, we will talk about is monetary policy tools and money supply in India. Okay, so that is very important, as I said also. So now RBI has certain tools for controlling the credit or the money supply. Okay, so broadly speaking, if you see, there are two tools which the RBI focuses whenever there is any problem of the supply of money, and how to be to see that it is spreading all over and how it is well functioned also. So what are the two types of methods? So the first one is qualitative and the second method is called as quantitative or general method. Okay, so first we will talk about two methods. As I said, there are two methods. So RBI tools for controlling credit or money supply, are two types of methods of controlling credit. So they can ask you in the exam also, what are the two types of method for controlling credit? Okay, so what are the two methods? As I said you, the first one is called as qualitative method and the second one is called as quantitative method. Okay, or it is also called as the general method. So now we will focus more on the first one. As I said, we will talk about qualitative methods and how it is being done, and quantitative method. Okay, so just let me quickly erase this portion. Okay, so yes, let me continue. So first I will talk about is the qualitative method. Yes, so qualitative method. So here it is, the first thing is we will as I said is talking about is fixed margin requirements. Okay, so you have to have a fixed margin. Then the second one is there must be a consumer credit regulation, how much the consumer can take, that also it is having a regulation. So consumer credit regulations. Then how much credit should be given, that also should be equalized. So credit rationing. Okay, then any grounds if the bank is doing some cheating or something, so that is called as moral suasion. So on moral grounds, the bank has always has to perform its duty with lots of ethics, so that is called as moral suasion. Anything unethical, if the bank does, then the RBI sues the bank, and also the RBI can also take the license of the bank. Okay, then control through directive. So there is like in every day there is a circular, weekly circular, which is being given by the RBI to all the banks, and that is called as, so it controls through directives. Each and every directions is given to the various banks that this is the way you have to perform. Time and time they are being informed. Okay, so that is called as control through directives. And yes, sometimes there is direct actions also. So let me mention this, direct actions. So I guess now you have understood what is the qualitative method. So it's got a fixed margin requirement, it's got consumer credit regulation, there is credit rationing, there is moral suasion, control through directives, and direct actions. Okay, so now let us talk about is the quantitative or direct method. Okay, so as I said, direct method means that is the first method which the bank uses, and then the bank uses the indirect method, that is the qualitative method. Okay, so first the bank will always use is the quantitative method or the direct method. Okay, so let us talk about is the quantitative, or as I said, direct method. Okay, so how does it do? The first step is by bank rate. We will discuss one by one the point. The second one is through open market operations. The third one is by cash reserve ratio. Okay, then the fourth one is very important. So both are very important. Remember, we were speaking about money, and I said that when we talk about monetary policies, I will explain you about the cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, then the next is liquidity adjustment. So liquidity adjustment facility. Okay, and then is marginal standing facility. Okay, so this is also very important. Okay, so now we will talk about one by one, as I said. So we are going to discuss each and every point of quantitative or direct method. So just let me just clear this. Okay, so I will first talk about is the bank rate policy. Okay, so bank rate policy. So what is a bank rate? Okay, so bank rate is the minimum. Okay, so it's the minimum rate at which the central bank of a country provides a loan to the commercial bank of the country. So bank rate is also called as discount rate. So let me write down here. Bank rate is also called as discount rate. Now why is it called discount rate? Let me explain this also. Because the central bank provides the finance, I told you, provides finance to commercial banks by giving discounts. Okay, so by rediscounting the bills. Okay, so when the loans are taken, the Reserve Bank is also paying off to the commercial bank by giving some discounts, so that they also get encouraged to give the loans to the lenders. Okay, so this is the practice which RBI does. Okay, so now what is this bank rate? Okay, so this is very important. So this is a rate, or this is a bank rate which RBI uses to, let me write down here, to control credit in the economy. So whenever the RBI wants to control the credit in the economy, the RBI will use this bank rate, and that is why it is called as the bank rate policy. Okay, so now for instance, if I tell you, like, in an inflationary scenario, in an inflationary scenario, what the RBI will do? So the RBI will increase the bank rate, so which will also increase the cost of borrowing for commercial banks, and this would discourage the commercial banks from borrowing from the RBI. So just because RBI doesn't want the commercial banks to come and take loans from RBI, so RBI will increase the interest rate, because the commercial banks have to pay more interest rate, so they will definitely not come and borrow loan from RBI. So hence what will happen, the lending in the economy, because the RBI wants to stop the lending in the economy, and hence the lending in the economy will fall along with the increase in the lending rates by the commercial banks. Okay, so if interest rate increases, nobody will come for a loan. Okay, and this will also discourage investment, because nobody will come for loan, so nobody will invest, also nobody will keep money in the bank also. And so what will happen is there will be a complete fall in the aggregate demand. So remember, if there is a fall in the aggregate demand, then only inflation will decrease. So a fall in the aggregate demand will reduce the income and the output in the economy, and thus what will happen, inflation will subside. So this is a trick which the bank will use, and that is why the bank rate policy is so important, and how it keeps on changing at the time of inflation. Okay, coming to the next one, So just let me delete this. Yes, we will talk about the next one, that is open market operations. So let me write down here. Open market operations. Okay, so now this is also very direct control of the monetary policy which RBI uses. Okay, so let me write down, in short, it is also called as OMO. Okay, so they are also important instrument of credit control. So what is OMO? So OMO means the purchase and sale of securities by the RBI. Okay, so for instance, let me tell you, like, let me give an example. So for example, in an inflation state, the RBI, what will the RBI will do? The RBI will start selling. So the RBI will start selling government securities, okay, which will definitely reduce the supply of money, which will reduce the supply of money. So why is it so? Since there are no buyers, since the buyers of the security will pay them for, in rupee, hence currency from the system goes out. So let me write down the reason also. Since the buyer of the securities will pay for them in rupee. So what happens? Hence currency goes out. Okay, because so that is what the plan is, so that more and more money is spent in and it is done. So what will happen is there will be reduction in the fund, there will be no money supply. Okay, there will be a money crunch. Okay, and a fall in the lending will somewhat contract the credit in the economy. So there will be no smooth flow of credit, nobody will have money. Okay, since there will be no money, so then aggregate demand will also decrease. Okay, because investment will decrease, everything will decrease. So so that is why this open market operations is so much important. Okay, and sometimes it affects, but very rare circumstances. So this is the way the RBI uses this open market operations to also control inflation. Yes, coming to the next very important and vital point. Okay,